I want to talk to you today about double meanings. It says in the Bible that the lawless one, here it is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. He will, chapter 2 verse 4, it says, he will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in the temple, in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. So he sets himself up in the temple, proclaiming to be God. Now, there's a lot of people say that there might not be a bricks and mortar temple being built in the end days. I disagree. Okay, Revelation 11, where it talks about the coming of the two witnesses, they're given power. It says, John was told, I was given a reed like a measuring rod, and was told, go and measure the temple of God and the altar, and count the worshippers therein, but exclude the outer court. Do not measure it, because it is given unto the Gentiles, and they shall trample on the holy city for 42 months. Now, this is talking, well, it's talking about the outer court, it's talking about a city, and it's talking about them being destroyed. Just like the first coming, the second coming, again, history repeats itself. But it's talking about a bricks and mortar temple here, and it's talking about the altar. Daniel talks about the daily sacrifice, the burnt offering being taken away. Now that gets taken away from the altar, which is inside the temple, the holy place of the temple. So this bricks and mortar temple has to be built. So in that case, but a lot of people say that Jesus said that your body is your temple. And they're right, I agree, he did say that, because he said he will destroy the temple and after 3 days rebuild it, which he did. He died for 3 days, and after 3 days his temple was also, he was resurrected, and his temple was rebuilt. So not only is the bricks and mortar temple coming, I tell you, the flesh of the temple of Jesus is coming. And this is where we go into it, you see. When I talk about Antichrist, I say counterfeit Christ sometimes. Counterfeit, what is that? Copy. Because they have taken blood from the Shroud of Turin, Satan, because he can't, the real Christ was born of the Spirit of God into Mary, and she gave birth to the Christ. Satan cannot do that, so he has to do it another way, and he does it through DNA cloning. They've taken samples from the Shroud of Turin, which is the linen that Jesus was wrapped in. They've taken blood samples, hair samples, whatever samples, and they've taken from it a DNA extract, and they've put it into making a fetus which can come back to life. If you look at the movie Godsend, it's years old now. I mean, I seen it when I was very, very young, you know, in my teens, messing about, I remember. And they have created a clone body. This is how the Antichrist will come. This is how Satan has created a false Christ for using DNA treatment and IVF, fertilization, and they put it into Diana or Isis, and they give birth to Horus, who is the false Christ. This is where the double meaning comes into it. He'll be walking in the temple, he'll walk into the temple, he'll be in the temple of God, proclaiming to be God. He'll be in the bricks and mortar temple of God, but he'll actually be in the human corpse, not the spirit, because an evil spirit, it says this spirit comes up from the abysses and inhabited this human corpse, but he is walking in a temple of Jesus. He's walking in Jesus' temple, his human corpse. The evil spirit that comes up from the abysses, you see. So let's clarify, he'll be walking in the temple, the actual human corpse of Jesus, human body being brought back to life by cloning, and of course the Antichrist spirit will be the one that inhabits it. But also he will walk into the temple, bricks and mortar temple in Jerusalem, and claim to be God there.
So sorry about that, cut off. But as you can see, the scripture, the lawless one, the Antichrist, the scripture about him says that so he as a God will sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, to basically demand worship from the whole world. Now, again, looking at the scripture closely, you can see he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing that he is God. Now, he's going to sit in the temple of God, the bricks and mortar, newly built temple, and he's also going to sit in. Jesus says that his body was the temple, and the lawless one, the beast that comes up from the sea, is going to sit in God's temple, which is Jesus Christ's human flesh. Here I put Emmanuel, because that means God with us. So Jesus Christ was God with us in the flesh. I've been Pastor Justin Roberts. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Amen.